Okay, everything is fine now. Shall we start? Okay, chalo. So, what was the previous topic we did? So the previous topic. So first of all, welcome you all to the CMA Interlaw classes. So because what was the previous topic we have done? We have done with the I think classification of debentures, right? We're done with the classification of debentures, right? Yes. So in the classification of debentures, can you tell me how many debentures we are done with? What are the classification of debentures we have done? Total how many classifications we have done? Total 4 classifications we have done, and in that total 9 types of debentures we are done with. Right or not? Please name all the debentures. Please name all the debentures. What are the 4 types of debentures on the basis of conversion? First of all, tell me. What are the 4 types of debentures on the basis of conversion? Yeah, on the basis of conversion. Fully paid up, partly paid up. Yes, optionally convertible, fully convertible, partly convertible, optionally convertible, and non-convertible. Okay, on the basis of redemption. On the basis of redemption. On the basis of redemption. 1 or 2? Only 1. Only 1. What is that? Redeemable. Do we have irredeemable? Allowed or not allowed? Yeah, not allowed. Right. And what is the maximum age for redeemable debentures? Tell me. What is the maximum age for redeemable debentures? Tell me. 10 years. But if I am an infra company, then what is the age? If I am an infra company, what is the age? Okay, 30 years. Okay. Well, tell me the 2 types of debentures on the basis of registration. On the basis of registration. On the basis of registration, yes. Registered debentures and bearer debentures, right or not? Registered means whose names are registered in the register of debenture holders maintained in form number MGT2, correct? And bearer debentures are those which are easily transferable from one person to another person. Everyone clear? Okay, nice. After that, we have done the debentures on the basis of security, which are 2 types, secured and unsecured. Everyone clear with the secured and unsecured? What do you mean by secured debentures? Those debentures who will be getting the charge over the assets as a security, right or not? And those who do not get any charge over the assets, they are known as unsecured. Am I clear? Okay. So then what is the next topic we have to start today? So the next topic we have to start today is all about the debenture trustee. What is the name of the person? Debenture trustee. Now everyone just listen to it carefully. What do you mean by debenture trustee? First of all, tell me one thing. Do debenture holders carry any voting rights? Does debenture holders carry any voting rights? Yes or no? No, sir, they do not carry any voting rights. So, when the debenture holders do not carry any voting rights, then how the debenture holders will come to know whether the money what they have given to the company is getting utilized or misutilized? Are you understanding the point? Let me create one scenario for you. Now, say for example, are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Yes. So, say for example, these people are you. You all are debenture holders. These people are you. You all are debenture holders. And this is me. I'm a company. Am I correct? So, I'm a company. You all are debenture holders. Now, as a debenture holders, you have given me 1 crore rupees each. You have given me 1 crore rupees each, and I promise to pay you the fixed interest. Annually, I will pay you the fixed interest. But what is the guarantee that money what you have given to me, am I utilizing it or misutilizing it? There's a problem or not? Is there any guarantee or no guarantee? Tell me. Is there any guarantee or no guarantee? No guarantee. So, there might be a case that I may misutilize your money. There might be a case that I may misutilize your money. Am I correct? So, company should not misutilize the money. That's why Companies Act has provided one provision. Sir, what is the provision? Provision name is known as debenture trustee. What is the name of the provision? Provision name is known as debenture trustee. Sir, who is known as debenture trustee? So, debenture trustee is a person. Debenture trustee is a person who is going to be, a debenture trustee is a person who is going to be appointed by the company, but he is going to stay in the company and keeping the eye over the company, keeping the watch over the company, whether the company's money, whether the debenture holders' money is getting utilized or misutilized. Are you guys able to understand what I'm saying? Are you guys able to understand what I'm saying? So, debenture trustee, can I say that debenture trustee is nothing but the eye of debenture holders? Can I call him as an eye of debenture holders? Is he watching company whether the company is utilizing the funds or misutilizing the funds or not? Yes or not? Is he watching the company whether the company is utilizing or misutilizing the funds or not? So, this is what do you mean by what? Debenture trustee. This is what do you mean by debenture trustee. But remember one thing, debenture trustee should be an independent person. He should be a which person? Independent person. Sir, what do you mean by independent person? Independent person means what? He should not be connected with the company, or he should not be connected with the debenture holders. Are you getting the point or not? Neither he should be connected with the company, nor he should be related to the debenture holders. We want an independent person. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Okay, so tell me, who is a debenture trustee? Debenture trustee is a mediator between whom and whom? Tell me. Debenture trustee is a mediator between whom and whom? Company and debenture holders. He is a mediator between company and debenture holders. Okay. Okay. What is his purpose? What he is actually doing? What is he actually doing? He is keeping an eye over the company. Yes, he is keeping an eye over the company, whether the company is utilizing the funds or misutilizing the funds, whether company is not doing any kind of fraud with the debentures or not. All those things has to be seen by which person? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear or not? Everyone clear? Okay. Next point. He should be appointed by whom? He should be appointed by whom? Who will appoint? Company will appoint. But is he the employee of the company? Is he related to the company, or is completely an independent person? Is he related person or completely an independent person? Sir, he is going to be a completely an independent person. Neither he should be connected to debenture holders, nor he should be connected to the company. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? So, we have to discuss about this person in a very deep way. We have to discuss about this person in a very deep way. So, let us understand one by one. What do you mean by debenture trustee? First of all, when the company will appoint a debenture trustee, point number one, when the company will appoint a debenture trustee, what will happen? When the company will appoint a debenture trustee, company will enter into one deed. Company will enter into one deed with whom? With the debenture trustee. Company will enter one deed with the debenture trustee. That deed name, you can see that deed name is known as debenture trust deed. What is the name of the deed? Debenture trust deed. Are you getting the point? Company is entering one agreement with the debenture trustee regarding the take care of the funds of debentures. That deed which the company is entering is known as which deed? Everyone repeat. What is the name of the deed? DTD. What is DTD? Debenture trust deed. Everyone clear or not? It is known as debenture trust deed. I hope you are understanding the concept. Now, let me explain it again. Debenture holders carry the voting rights or do not carry the voting rights? Do not carry the voting rights. Are they aware that what the company is doing with their money? Are they aware or not aware? Are they aware or not aware? Sir, they are not aware. Then when they are not aware what the company is doing with their funds, do we need someone to keep an eye over the company? Say yes. Yes, we need a person to keep an eye over the company. Who is that person who is keeping an eye over the company? That person is known as what? That person is known as what? Debenture trustee. So, who will appoint debenture trustee? Who will appoint debenture trustee? Company will appoint the debenture trustee. Whether the company will enter into any agreement with him? Whether the company will enter into any agreement with him? Yes, that agreement name is known as what? Debenture trust deed. That agreement name is known as debenture trust deed. Is it looking better in this way? Is it looking better in this way, the classes? Okay, so it is known as debenture trust deed. So let us understand about the debenture trustee now. Now, who is a debenture trustee? Understand first thing. Who is a debenture trustee? What is the point written? Read. He should be the most independent person. Are you able to see what I am underlining? He should be the most independent person. What do you mean by most independent person? Should be connected with the company or debenture holders, or neither company nor debenture holders? Is he a person should be connected with the company or debenture holders, or neither company nor debenture holders? Yes, neither company nor debenture holder. He should not be connected with both. He should be an independent person. Then the company law says that what kind of person should be a debenture trustee? Either you can appoint a practicing CA, or you can appoint a practicing CMA, or you can appoint a practicing CS, or retired judge of a court. Are you getting the point? These are the 4 people who are eligible to become the debenture trustee. Tell me, what are the eligibility of debenture trustee? Who 4 people can become the debenture trustee? Practicing CA, practicing CMA, practicing CS, or retired judge of High Court or Supreme Court. Everyone clear or not? These are the persons who can really become what? These are the person who can really become what? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear? Everyone clear now? Shall we start now? Now, what is the next topic we have to start? What is the qualification of debenture trustee? The topic name is what is the qualification of debenture trustee. Now listen to this carefully. First of all, tell me, he should be dependent or independent? He should be dependent or independent? Independent. Next point. What is his eligibility? What is his eligibility? Practicing CA, or practicing CS, or practicing CMA. Everyone clear or not? Or a retired judge of a court. Now, what is his qualification? Now listen to this case. The debenture trustee should not be the officer of the company. Debenture trustee should not be the officer of the company. Everyone clear or not? He should not be the officer of the company. He should not be the director of the company. He should not be the promoter of the company. He should not be the employee of the company. He should not be the KMP of the company. Are you guys able to understand? He should not be the officer of the company. He should not be the director of the company. He should not be the promoter of the company. He should not be the employee of the company. He should not be the key managerial person of the company. He should not be the relative of above. इन लोगों का relative भी नहीं होना चाहिए. He should not be the relative of above people, above persons. Am I correct or not? Everyone able to understand? So what are the qualifications of a debenture trustee? Tell me, what are the qualifications of debenture trustee? He should not be the officer, director, promoter, employee, and KMP of the company, and he should not be the relative of these people also. Are you able to understand? He should not be the relative of these people also. Next point. He should not have taken any loan from the company. Do we want an independent person or not? He should not have taken any loan from the company, should not have given any loan to the company. Means what? No indebtedness relationship. He should not have taken any loan from the company. He should not have given any loan to the company. He should not be the debtor of the company. He should not be the creditor of the company. Everyone clear? He should not be the debtor of the company. He should not be the creditor of the company. Everyone clear with this part? He should not be the debtor of the company. He should not be the creditor of the company. Next point. He should not be holding any shares in the company. Should not be holding any debentures in the company. Should not be holding any financial security in the company, and should not have any kind of beneficial interest relationship with the company. Now, what is the overall gist of telling you all these qualifications? Tell me, what is the major purpose of telling you all these qualifications? What is the major purpose? He should be an independent person or dependent person? Independent or dependent? Independent person. Everyone clear or not? So, he should he should in any way should not be connected to the company, should not be connected to the debenture holders. Everyone clear? So, tell me, he should not be the officer, he should not be the director, he should not be the promoter, he should not be the employee, he should not be the KMP, he should not be the relative, he should not be given loan to the company, should not have taken loan from the company, nor a debtor, nor a creditor, nor a shareholder, nor a debenture holder, nor any kind of financial security holder, and not at all a beneficial interest relationship with the company. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? So, सबको समझ में आया? This is what do you mean by what? Debenture trustee. This is what do you mean by debenture trustee. This is what do you mean by debenture trustee. Let me just connect it another way so that I can see whether you are able to see the screen properly or not. Just wait. Shiva, are you in the class? Shiva. Yeah, I think the video is not lagging. I hope it is running a little bit better. Everyone please confirm. It's running properly, right? Now it's better, right? Now it's better, right? Please confirm. Okay. Chalo. Let us understand. So I hope all of you understood what are the topic we are doing. We are talking about the which person? Debenture trustee. We understood his qualification. We understood his eligibility, right? Okay. So from the qualification, if you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Any doubt or no doubt? Any doubt or no doubt? If no doubt, we can proceed ahead. Okay. So no doubt. Okay. Now, what is the next thing we have to understand? Who appoints the debenture trustee? Next thing what we have to understand is who appoints the debenture trustee. Anybody would like to give the answer? Who appoints the debenture trustee? Tell me. Who appoints the debenture trustee? Company appoints the debenture trustee. Company appoints the debenture trustee. Everyone clear with the topic? So, company appoints the debenture trustee within 60 days from the date of allotment of debentures. Tell me one thing. When the company shall appoint the debenture trustee, within how many days? Tell me everyone. Please give me the answer. Within how many days? Within 60 days. From the date of what? 60 days will start from where? 60 days will start from the Yes, 60 days will start from the allotment of debentures. Everyone clear or not? So within 60 days, we have to appoint a debenture trustee from the allotment of debentures. Now, next point. Whether his appointment, whether debenture trustee's appointment is compulsory or optional. Now see, whether the company has to compulsorily appoint a debenture trustee or company is having an option. Now listen to this carefully. If the number of debenture holders, not debentures, if the number of debenture holders are greater than equal to 500, do we know the register of debenture holders MGT2? Do we know the register of debenture holders MGT2 or not? Yes. So in the register of debenture holders MGT2, if the number of debenture holders are 500 or more, if the number of debenture holders are what? 500 or more, then what will happen? If the number of debenture holders are 500 or more, then what will happen? Then his appointment becomes what? Compulsory. Company have to appoint a debenture trustee. But if the number of debenture holders, are less than 500, if the number of debenture holders are less than 500, then it is an option on the company. Everyone clear or not? Then it is an option on the company. Then company has to think whether they have to appoint the debenture trustee or need not appoint the debenture trustee. So do you know the limit now? So tell me, when the debenture trustee becomes compulsory? Tell me. I'm looking at your answers. When the debenture trustee becomes compulsory, 500 or more. Very nice. And when the debenture trustee is optional? When the debenture trustee is optional? Yes, less than 500. Are you guys able to understand? So this is what the provision relating to what? Debenture trustee. This is what the provision relating to what? Debenture trustee, right? Now, listen to this. What if debenture trustee leaves the company? Now suppose debenture trustee left the company in between. Suppose the debenture trustee left the company in between. Are you guys able to understand? Debenture trustee left the company in between. Then what will happen? If the debenture trustee has left the company in between, then there can be two possibilities. Possibility number one, by giving resignation. By giving resignation. What is the possibility number one? That debenture trustee has left the company by giving a resignation. Tell me, what do you mean by resignation? Resignation means what? He wanted to continue or he wanted to discontinue. Why a person gives a resignation? When a person wants to continue or person wants to discontinue? When a person wants to discontinue. And there can be reasons other than resignation. Are you guys able to understand what I am bifurcating? Are you guys able to understand what I am bifurcating? See, if the reason of the leaving the company is resignation, he has given the resignation, then left the company, then there is a different provision. If he is leaving the company for a reason other than resignation, then there is a different scenario. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? If the reason is resignation, then what will happen? The casual vacancy. Now tell me one thing, whether the vacancy came or not, he left the company, whether the vacancy came or not, the casual vacancy will be filled up by debenture holders. Who will appoint the new debenture trustee? Who will appoint the new debenture trustee? Debenture holders will appoint the new debenture trustee. If the reason is what? If the reason is what? Resignation. If the reason is resignation, who will appoint the new debenture trustee? Debenture holders will appoint the new debenture trustee. But if the reason is other than resignation, then the casual vacancy will be filled up by board of directors or company. Everyone clear or not? Everyone clear? If the reason is resignation, then who will fill up the casual vacancy? Tell me. Write the answer. If the reason is resignation, who will fill up the casual vacancy? Debenture holders. But if the reason is not resignation, then board of directors. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Remember one thing, resignation can casual vacancy can be of two types. So casual vacancy due to resignation, casual vacancy due to the reason other than resignation. If it is the reason other than resignation, company will fill up the casual vacancy. If it is due to the resignation, debenture holders will fill up the casual vacancy. Everyone clear? सब कुछ sorted है? Everyone clear now? Okay, great. So let us move to the next topic. Sir, what are the duties or what are the functions of debenture trustee? Duties or functions, or you can say roles, or you can say scope, anything you can write. Duties, functions, role and scope of whom? Who is the person? Debenture trustee. Sir, very important topic है debenture trustee, याद रखना. So we are understanding now the duties, roles and functions of whom? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear? Shall we start? Now, role number 1. To take care of interest payments and principal repayments. Tell me, everyone able to see? What is the first thing? Yes, to take care of the interest payments. Do we pay interest to the debenture holders or dividend? Tell me one thing. Do we pay interest or do we pay dividend to the debenture holders? Sir, we pay interest to the debenture holders. Regular payment whether the company is doing or not. Who is going to keep an eye over the company? Who is going to keep an eye over the company? Debenture trustee will keep an eye over the company. And at the time of maturity, whether principal amount is repaid or not, that also has to be seen by whom? That also has to be seen by whom? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Yes. Point number 2. To take care of conversion into equity share capital at the time of redemption. Tell me one thing. Do we have the convertible debentures or not? Do we have convertible debentures? Now, when the convertible debentures are there, at the time of redemption, company has to convert these debenture holders into equity shares or not? Company has to convert these debenture holders into equity shareholders or not? Yes. So, who will look that ki whether the conversion is taking place properly or not? Debenture trustee will look that. Am I clear? Are you able to understand his duties? Duty number 3. To take care of security in case of secured debentures. To take care of security in case of which debentures? Secured debentures. Tell me one thing. What do you mean by secured debentures? Do they get the security in return? Do they get the security in return when they pay the money to the company? Who will take care whether the company is paying them the security properly or not? Debenture trustees. So to take care of security, whether sufficient or insufficient. Whether sufficient or insufficient. Everyone clear? So whether the security amount is sufficient or insufficient or not, that has to be taken care of by whom? Debenture trustee. Point number 4. To ensure that terms and conditions are not unfavorable to debenture holders. At the time of issue, company puts some terms and conditions like you will be doing this, you will be getting this and all. Now, debenture trustee's responsibility is to see that the terms and conditions are not unfavorable to the debenture holders. Everyone clear? Terms and conditions are not unfavorable to the debenture holders. Yes? Anybody ask something?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, bolo. Tell me. Any doubt? Okay, okay. Yeah. Actually, I was like doing this like live class kind of session. So that's what, to see that, I wanted you to take care of that, whether it is running properly or not. Yeah, is it going fine? Yeah, okay, right. Okay, thank you. Now, point number 5. Point number 5. To see that better communication, to see that better communication, to see that better communication or debenture holders complaints shall be addressed by the company. Now tell me one thing, who is the mediator between company and debenture holders? Who is the mediator between company and debenture holders? Tell me guys, who is the mediator between company and debenture holders? Debenture trustee. Okay. So what company wants to tell to the debenture holders, or what the debenture holders grievances and complaints are against the company, they will communicate, both of them will communicate to one person. Who is that person in the center? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear or not? Did you understand the 5th duty also? Yes. Now 6th duty, to ensure that on default, now tell me one thing, on default what the company will do? To ensure that on default, debenture trustee will exercise charge over the assets. Now can anybody tell me what do you mean by charge over the assets? Debenture trustee क्या करेगा? What the debenture trustee will do in case the company defaults in repayment of debenture holders at the time of maturity, then the debenture trustee has a right to do what? He will seize all the assets of the company. Did we give the security of assets to the debenture holders or not? Yes, so he will seize all the assets of the company. After seizing all the assets of the company, what he will do? He will start selling it in the open market. He will start selling the assets in the open market. Whatever the money he will recover from selling the assets, he will distribute this money to whom? He will distribute this money to whom? Debenture holders. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? So these are the major functions, roles and responsibilities of what? These are the major functions, roles and responsibilities of what? Debenture trustee. Everyone clear? Now this is what they may ask you, everything about the debenture trustee in the examination. I hope you all are comfortable with the thing now. Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear, right? So tell me one thing, one by one. Let's do it again. Who appoints the debenture trustee? Quickly, I will end the quick answers. Who appoints the debenture trustee? Company. When the company appoints the debenture trustee? Within how many days? 60 days from 60 days from the date of allotment. I'm watching your answers. 60 days from the date of allotment. Okay. Next one. What is the eligibility of becoming a debenture trustee? What is the eligibility of becoming a debenture trustee? What is the eligibility of becoming a debenture trustee? PCA, PCS, PCMA or retired judge? Very nice. Can he be an employee? You have to say yes or no. Can he be an employee, promoter, director, loan giver, loan taker, debenture holder, shareholder, any of their relative? Allowed or not allowed? Sir, not allowed. Are you getting the point? Okay, next one. He should be a dependent or independent person? He should be a dependent or independent person? The dependent person. Very nice. Next point. Okay. When his appointment is compulsory and when his appointment is optional? More than equals to, Subhalakshmi, more than equals to 500. It is not only more than, yes, more than equals to 500, then it is what? Compulsory. And if it is less than 500, then it is optional. right? Then the company may appoint, may not appoint. What if the debenture trustee left the company in between? What if the debenture trustee left the company in between? Yes. If it is the reason is resignation, if the reason is resignation, who will fill up? Debenture holders. If the reason is other than resignation, who will fill up? Company. If the reason is other than resignation, who will fill up? Company. Everyone clear or not? Okay. Nice. Okay. So duties also you remember now. He has to take care of interest payments, principal repayments, conversion, security, terms and conditions, communication, and on default he will exercise the charge over the assets. I hope everyone is clear about this, right? So that's it, all about the debenture trustee, what you should have known. Everything about the debenture trustee, what you should have known. Now we are going to enter into an amendment now. Very big amendment and very huge amendment. Amendments in DRR. We have an amendment in what? DRR. Can anybody tell me what is DRR? DRR stands for what? Debenture Redemption Reserve. What is the name? Debenture Redemption Reserve. Now, it's a very simple concept you have to understand first. I will tell you the amendment later. First of all, tell me, suppose this is 2020. Suppose this is 2020. Today, I am raising the debentures of 1000 crore rupees. I have raised the debentures of 1000 crore rupees. Now tell me, I am a normal company. I am a normal company raising the debentures, redeemable debentures. What is the maximum age I can redeem? What is the maximum age I can appoint? I want an answer. 10 years. Very nice. It means by 2030, do I have to repay their money or not? Do I have to repay the money by 2030? Am I correct? So, do I know my liability on the day one? Do I know my liability on the day one which I have to pay after 10 years? Do I know my liability on the day one which I have to pay after 10 years? Am I correct or not? So what the, now tell me, you give me the answer now, genuinely give me the answer. If you are in my place, if you are a company, would you like to arrange the total 1000 crore rupees in 2030, or you would like to arrange the money every year up to 10 years? Would you like to put the total pressure of 1000 crore rupees of repayment in the 2031 year, or would you like to arrange the money? Would you like to arrange the money every year so that in 2030 you will not have that much of burden? I need an answer. Should we put the burden in 1 year, or should we should we spread our burden over the number of years? Yes, yeah, very nice. We should spread the burden over the number of years. Am I correct or not? So what we'll do is, right at the beginning only. Now tell me, what do you mean by beginning? Which year? 2020. Right at the beginning only, we are going to create one reserve that is called DRR. That is called what? DRR. This is known as Debenture Redemption Reserve. So right in the beginning of the year of the 2020, when we have issued the debentures only, from there itself only we have to create one reserve that is called what? DRR. Are you getting the point? And every year from profits, every year from profits, some part will be transferred to what? DRR. Every year from profits, some part will be transferred to what? DRR. So we will, from the profits, we'll take some money and transfer to DRR, transfer to DRR, transfer to DRR. Like that, will we be able to accumulate the good amount of money by the time of maturity or not? Yes or not? So this is what all about the DRR you have to understand. This is what all about the DRR. So I hope you now understood what is the relevance of DRR. DRR stands for Debenture Redemption Reserve. DRR stands for Debenture Redemption Reserve. Is it a non-statutory reserve or statutory reserve? Is it mandatory reserve or optional? Tell me. Is it statutory or non-statutory? I need an answer. Is it statutory or non-statutory? Yes, it is a statutory reserve. It is a statutory reserve. It means it is a mandatory reserve. Company has an option or company does not have any option? Does not have any option. They have to maintain this reserve. They have to maintain this reserve. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Okay, nice. Point number 2. Point number 2. Every year, some portion of profits shall be transferred to this reserve. Every year, some portion of profits shall be transferred to this reserve. Are you getting the point? Every year, some portion of the profits shall be transferred to DRR, to this reserve called what? DRR. When on or before 30th April every year. Sir, when do we have to transfer? On or before 30th April every year. Everyone clear or not? Now you can see that every year some portion of the profit shall be transferred to this reserve. But when do we have to transfer? On or before 30th April every year. Now tell me one thing, when the financial year gets over? When the financial year gets over? 31st March. But when we are transferring the amount? When we are transferring the amount? 30th April. Do we have 1 month to take a decision or not? Do we have a 1 month to take a decision or not? So within that 1 month, we'll take a decision, and every year on or before 30th April, we'll take some portion from the net profits and we will dump it into which account? DRR account. So that at the time of redemption, redemption will become easier. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Okay. Point number 3. Point number 3. It is created when? Tell me one thing. It is created when? At the time of redemption or at the beginning only? It is created at the beginning. That is at the time of issue of debentures. Everyone clear? It is created in the beginning only. That is at the time of issue of debentures. Everyone clear or not? Okay? Chalo, done. Point number 4. Very important point where the amendment has come. This is a main amended point. How much to be created? What is the topic name? How much to be created? How much money should be lying at the time of redemption in my DRR account? Are you able to understand? How much amount shall be in DRR at the time of redemption? At the time of redemption, how much amount shall be lying in my DRR account? Everyone clear? Everyone clear or not? Okay? Now, listen to this carefully. Listen to this carefully, very carefully. Now, I am writing point number A. I will write it with a different color so that you can understand. Now, point number A. Everyone, listen to the point number A. What is the point number A? If the debentures are raised or issued by AIFI. Are you able to see that? If the debentures are raised or issued by AIFI. Sir, what is AIFI? All India Financial Institutions. If the debentures are issued by AIFI, All India Financial Institutions. If the debentures are issued by AIFI, All India Financial Institutions, either via prospectus. Can you issue the debentures via prospectus or not? Yes, either via prospectus or via PPD. Can anybody tell me what is PPD? Private placement of debentures. I hope you all understand. I told you the concept of private placement. Yes. Yes. So debentures can be issued in two ways, either via prospectus or via what? Private placement. If you are issuing the debentures, who is issuing the debentures? AIFI. Either via prospectus or via private placement of debentures. Provision is, can you read the provision? Do they have to maintain DRR or no DRR? No DRR required. Everyone clear or not? Everyone clear or not? If the debentures are raised and issued by All India Financial Institution, either via prospectus or via private placement of debentures, they need not maintain DRR. That is a clarification given in the recent amendment. Everyone clear or not? Remember one thing, in your CMA material, it is not amended. In your CMA material, it is not amended. So make sure that you are amending it. Okay? Okay, you are amending it. So if the debentures are raised by AIFI via prospectus or private placement of debentures, required or not required? Sir, not required. No DRR. Ab sunna, second chart is very important. Second chart is very important. If you are a listed company, if you are a which company? Listed company. Now, if you are a listed company, sir, what do you mean by listed company? I am talking about other than AIFI. Are you understanding the point? Am I talking about AIFI or other than AIFI? Other than AIFI. If you are a listed company other than AIFI, either you have raised via prospectus or you have raised the debentures via what? Private placement of debentures. So, are you a listed company or unlisted company? Sir, I am a listed company. Are you an AIFI or other than AIFI? Sir, I am other than AIFI. And you are raising the debentures via what? Prospectus or private placement of debentures. Then in that case, again, no DRR required. DRR required or not required? No DRR required. Again, no DRR required. Are you getting the point? Sir, what do you mean by listed company? Listed means what? If you are NBFC, if you are, if you are NBFC or if you are other listed company, or if you are a housing finance company which is registered under National Housing Board, Housing Bank. Now remember one thing, any kind of listed entity, either you are a listed NBFC or you are a other listed company or you are a listed housing finance company. In all these cases, DRR required or not required? In all these cases, DRR required or not required? Not required. First of all, tell me, should I ask you some questions now? Tell me, I am AIFI. I raised via prospectus. DRR Kavali or not Kavali? Okay. Via private placement. DRR required or not required? So if you are AIFI, DRR is not required at all. I am a listed NBFC. I am a listed NBFC. DRR required or not required? Not required. Okay. I am a listed company. DRR required or not required? Not required. I am a listed housing finance company. DRR required or not required? Sir, not required. Everyone clear or not? Up to this, everyone is clear? Okay. Point number C. Point number C. In case of unlisted entities. In case of which entities? Unlisted entities. If it is unlisted entities, अब सुनना ध्यान से, if it is unlisted entities, I will divide it into two parts. अब सुनना ध्यान से, I am an unlisted NBFC. I am an unlisted NBFC. I am an unlisted housing finance company. registered with the National Housing Bank. I am an unlisted NBFC. I am an unlisted housing finance company, and I have raised it via private placement. I have raised it via private placement of debentures. Remember one thing, no DRR required. Are you able to see the sentence? Guys, tell me, are you able to see the sentence? Tell me, I am what? I am listed or unlisted here? I am unlisted NBFC. I am unlisted housing finance company. And I have raised it via, I have raised the debentures via private placement of debentures. DRR required or not required? Not required. Are you getting the point? I am an unlisted company. Now see, unlisted NBFC is covered. Unlisted housing finance company is also covered. Now I am an unlisted company. I am not NBFC. I am not a housing finance company. I am an unlisted company and I have raised it via PPD. I have raised it via what? PPD. I need 10% of debenture issue size must be there in DRR. How much DRR you have to maintain if you are an unlisted company? How much DRR you have to maintain if you are an unlisted company and you have raised it via PPD? You have raised it via PPD. You are an unlisted company. 10% of what? Debenture issue size. Now tell me, how much debentures I issued? Did I issue 1000 crores or not? As per our example, 1000 crore ka 10%. 1000 crores 10%. 100 crores. I have to keep it in my DRR at the time of redemption. At the time of redemption in my DRR, at least 100 crores must be present. 10% of the debenture issue size must be present at the time of redemption in my DRR if I am an unlisted company and raised it via private placement of debentures. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Okay, now listen to this very properly. If debentures raised via prospectus, now tell me one thing, PPD is over or not in all the three cases? PPD is over? Yes. If debentures are raised via prospectus, either I am unlisted NBFC or I am unlisted housing finance company or I am any other unlisted company. I am writing all three. In all the three cases, I have to maintain 10% of debenture issue size must be there in DRR at the time of redemption. At the time of redemption. Everyone clear or not? If it is raised via prospectus, now listen to this carefully. If it is raised via prospectus, either you are an unlisted NBFC, you are an unlisted housing finance company, or you are an unlisted other company, you always have to maintain minimum 10% of the debenture issue size in your DRR at the time of redemption. Everyone clear or not? Should I make you write summary? Should I make you write summary? Okay, let us write the summary. AIFI, NBFC, housing finance company, a company. Right or not? Now look at this summary. It will help you in understanding. I am an AIFI. I am listed. Tell me one thing. What is the answer? I am listed AIFI. Required or not required? No DRR. either via prospectus or via private placement of debentures. Am I correct or not? I am unlisted AIFI either via prospectus or via private placement of debentures. Again, no DRR. So in case of AIFI, DRR required or no DRR? No DRR, sir. Either you are listed, unlisted, either via prospectus or private placement. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Okay. I am listed NBFC. I am listed NBFC either via prospectus or via private placement. DRR or no DRR? I am listed one. DRR or no DRR? No DRR. Sir, I am unlisted. I am unlisted and I have issued via private placement of debentures. No DRR. I am unlisted via prospectus. DRR. How much? At the rate of 10%. Are you able to see the chart? If I am listed via prospectus or private placement of debentures, no DRR at all. But if I am unlisted, if it is via prospectus, then DRR at the rate of 10%. If it is private placement, then no DRR. Am I correct? Am I correct? Okay. Housing finance company. Tell me, housing finance company also same. If you are a listed, give me your answer. Via PPD or via prospectus? I need an answer from you. DRR or no DRR? Listed, no DRR. Okay. I am unlisted now. I am unlisted, issued via private placement of debentures. No DRR. Very nice. And if it is prospectus, at the rate of 10%. Everyone clear or not? Done? Everyone clear? Okay, I am a company. I am a company, I am a listed company. Either via prospectus or via private placement of debentures. DRR or no DRR? No DRR. But now I am unlisted. In the unlisted, there is a twist. Either you are a private placement or you are a prospectus. In both cases, what? In both cases, what? Yes, at the rate of 10%. Everyone clear? Everyone clear with that? So this is what everything about the DRR amendment. I hope everyone understood the amendment now clearly. So tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Just one thing. Where DRR is required? Let's do it for the last time. Where DRR is required actually? Where DRR is required? AIFI not required. Listed company is not required. It is only required in case of what? Unlisted. Very nice. It is only required in case of unlisted. Okay. In the unlisted, via prospectus, via private placement. Tell me now. In the unlisted, via prospectus, via private placement. If it is via prospectus, if you are unlisted NBFC, if you are unlisted housing finance company, if you are unlisted company, always at the rate of what? 10%. Is it correct or not? Right or not? Okay. If it is private placement, there are two things. If you are NBFC or housing finance company, no DRR. But if you are an unlisted company via private placement, DRR at the rate of 10%. Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Everyone super clear? 100% understood? 100% understood? Now listen to this case. 25% has been reduced to 10%. This is the main amendment. Are you getting the point? It was 25%. 25% has been reduced to what? Reduced to 10%. Everyone clear? चलो आज के लिए इतना ही बस है. So thank you so much for coming to the classes. I'll अगेन कम अप विद सेम लाइव सेशन टुमारो फॉर द CMA इंटर लॉ। तो हम लोग कल मिलेंगे, ठीक है। तो टुमारो विल कंप्लीट द रिमेनिंग पोर्शन ऑफ DRR एंड इमीडिएटली वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद द टॉपिक कॉल्ड व्हाट, चार्ज। ओके, चलो, थैंक यू एवरीवन, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर लेंडिंग योर पेशेंट ईयर्स। I'll again borrow it tomorrow. Thank you everyone.